Attention, the following broadcast has been approved by Outcasted OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ethan sucks, believe in Joe. Ethan put on some clothes. And with that rendition of Joe Hendry's beautiful song, I don't know if I did it better or he did. You know what time of the week it is? It is the NXT review brought to you by Outcasted OC. I am Reese, as always. Glad to be back covering this week's penultimate? Yeah, is that the right word? Penultimate episode of NXT before No Mercy this weekend. We've got a big week of wrestling this week. Obviously, we had an amazing episode of Monday Night Raw with Bo Dallas debuting. Got NXT, and then we're moving straight on to SmackDown, Bash in Berlin, and NXT No Mercy. I'm excited for everything. How's this week in wrestling going for you guys? Let me know in the comments. Have you enjoyed it? Did you think Raw was any good? Did you watch the review that we put up? Let me know. Let's have a conversation about all of this in the comments. But as we're talking about NXT, we might as well get straight into it, guys. While you're listening, make sure that you like and subscribe. You know, if you're feeling what I'm saying. If you're not, do it anyway. You know, because we're all friends here in the IWC, right? Let's get straight into this, because NXT gets straight into this with a tag team match. We get the Meta 4, or the Meta 2, of Jakara Jackson taking on the Fatal Influence of JC Jane and Fallon Henley. Now, this match was interesting because you had the Fatal Influence here, who are a new faction, who, in my opinion, didn't really get much in this match. You had Jasmine Nix on the outside basically provide the distraction for the win. I really thought it was going to be a more dominant performance, seeing as though the Metaphor haven't really got anything going on at the moment. Obviously, you got Noam Dar out with an injury. You got Ora Mensah, handling his own business. So I really thought Jakara and Lash could have taken the L here quite, easily and not been, really damaged in terms of their characters. But this is the direction that they're going to take, so fair enough. Okay, I mean, I'm not arguing about it. I'm fine with it. I like Lash Legend. I love Jakara, so I like the fact that they got a lot of offense in here. Lash Legend, for me, just continues to improve every single week. This match does come to an end where Lash does get distracted on the outside by Jasmine. She clocks her with a massive right hand, putting her down. She gets back in the ring, but unfortunately, she just gets absolutely taken out by the team of Fallon Henley and JC Jane for the 1, 2, 3. They're after a good start. Fatal Influence are after a good start. Like I said, would have preferred a little bit more offense, but we're not going to get that. So, what do we have next? So, right. So this is a weird segment. Okay, what are they doing with Ashante the Adonis? What are they actually doing with him? So we go backstage where Eddie Thorpe is talking about, because he's a DJ, he's talking about what he did in the week. He talked about, the night that he had, the rave that he went, that insane rave that lasts until like 2 in the morning because he's such a badass. Ashante the Adonis comes in and says, I didn't know he was about that. I didn't know he was about the DJ life, even though, he talks about it every single week, and it's literally like the one thing about Eddie Thorpe's character that we all know. Don't really know where Ashante's been for that. But anyway, typical Ashante. He starts trying to talk up the women. They walk away. They're not into him. Even though he beat Leon Dixon, whatever his name was. The guy that all the women wanted last week with the glasses on and who can read and who is dead athletic. Okay, he beat him. But that's not enough for the women, so they still walk away. Ashante turns around to Eddie and says, which one of these girls are you with? Like, is this what you do the DJ thing for? And obviously Eddie Thorpe goes, no, I do it for the enjoyment of the music. I do it for the music. Obviously, Ashante doesn't believe him and says, men and women can't be friends, platonic friends. I'm literally reading my notes here, and I can't believe this is a segment that happens in 2024. Like, it feels like I'm reading a segment that happened in, like, the Attitude Era in, like, the 90s. Like, Ashante the Adonis is, like, stuck in, like, 1998 or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. This is inevitably probably going to be turning into a match between Eddie Thorpe and Ashante. Outside of the locker room, wherever they're talking, Brooks Jensen is attacking Idris and Nofe, who leaves Malik Blade vulnerable for later on tonight when them two have their match. Clever work from Mr. Brooks Jensen here. Speaking of something that is clever, I'm joking, it wasn't, it was terrible. We got Izzy Dane versus Carmen Petrovic, and the reason why this is terrible is because it didn't last nearly as long as I wanted it to. It was a little bit dry. Carmen Petrovic pretty much got no offense in whatsoever. This was I wouldn't say it was a squash, But with Izzy Dame really just dominating for the whole match, to be honest with you, it was hard to get into this match. Like, obviously these two are quite I wouldn't say green, but like new to the new to the roster. The crowd weren't really into it. The crowd didn't really care about it. I didn't really care about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just was not into it whatsoever. I thought Izzy Dame was quite impressive, but Carmen Petrovic really should have got a little bit more offense in here, seeing as though they try to build her up. Oh, that's what I thought they was trying to do. But yeah, Izzy Dame comes out with a victory here. Nothing really to talk about in this match. Izzy Dame getting a bit of momentum headed into a different feud, I suppose, or I hope maybe they'll have a rubber match, or I don't know. I'm assuming they try to set Izzy Dame up for a title match because she tried to get into the gauntlet last week by attacking Carmen Petrovic, but I don't know. I don't know if this makes me want to see a championship match between her and Kalani or Roxanne Perez. Yeah, they just didn't do anything for me for this match. I don't like to crap on women's wrestling, but like that was just a nothing match for me. Next, we get the NQCC warming up for the match tonight. It is a 6-person tag team match. Miles Bourne and Charlie Dempsey are warming up, and Ren Sinclair's, saying, "Let me get in on that. Let me get in. Like she tries to get involved in like the stretching. Charlie Dempsey gets annoyed with her and tells her basically to fall in line and follow his lead. Ren Sinclair brings up a very good point here where she says she's helped out the NQCC quite a lot over the past couple of weeks, so maybe it's her that should be in charge. Charlie Dempsey isn't having any of it and basically, again, just says to stay in line. Meanwhile, in the other locker room, the Tony D'Angelo family are getting prepared for this match. Tony D is giving a pep talk to Luca, Stax and Rizzo, saying you need to get revenge on what the NQCC did last week to us. The rest of some other mob members walk into the locker room and says, "Don, we need to talk to you." He says, "Not right now, after the match." So it looks like there's something going on in the family because they look quite concerned. We will find out what that is later on tonight. So the match takes place. We get the NQCC of Charlie Dempsey, Miles Bourne and Ren Sinclair taking on the Tony D'Angelo family, consisting of Luke Crucifino, Channing Stax Lorenzo and Rizzo. This is a decent match. One of the best matches of the night, in my opinion, on a lackluster show in terms of like quality, I suppose. By far one of the standout matches of the night. This match takes place relatively quickly. I'm not gonna lie. They didn't need much time to do what they needed to do in this match, but it was more to further the story, what's going on between these two factions. There's a really cool moment where Miles Bourne and Ren Sinclair are on the outside. Rizzo jumps onto Ren Sinclair to get Ren Sinclair is on the outside. She's distracting, I believe it's Luca Crucifino. Rizzo jumps onto Ren Sinclair to get, to basically take her out of the equation. Miles Bourne has a problem with this, but as he goes to try and sort the situation out, Rizzo just throws Miles Bourne in kind of like an arm drag. It looks really cool. Luca Crucifino, with the help of Stax, gets the victory here for the 1-2-3. The Tony D family are victorious. But like I said, it shows really what's more going on as a bigger story in the Tony D'Angelo family, as halfway through this match, Tony D has to go and attend to some other business because the mob members who were trying to talk to him in the locker room come out and try, and tell him exactly what's going on. So he walks away quite fast, leaving the family to take care of the business by themselves. Forget about it. Anyway, well, like I said, we'll find out what that is later on tonight. Next, we go backstage to where Jada Parker is having a sit-down interview, and she's talking about how she thinks that Roxanne Perez is overlooking Jada Parker. She was a D1 soccer player. Ever since she's gotten to the WWE, she is no longer a football player as a wrestler. She's a wrestler who used to be a football player. She's achieved so much this year. Her first premium live event as a tag team, her first singles premium live event, and now she goes and wins the gauntlet match, and she's looking to prove everybody wrong at No Mercy when she takes Roxanne Perez NXT Women's Championship, because she got next. Roxanne Perez comes into the locker room where the interview is taking place, and she tells, obviously, the interviewer to, go away. She basically says, how do I put this? She gives Jada Parker her props, for all the stuff that she's achieved over the past year or so, but at the same time, that is the same story that Sol Ruka told. It's the same story that Lola Vice told. She's heard it all before. Everyone has a story when they're coming towards Roxanne Perez, but the one thing that nobody has in common with Roxanne Perez is she's the prodigy and no one else is on her level. Jada Parker says she wants to slap the taste out of Roxanne Perez's mouth, and before Roxanne can even really say anything or reply, that's exactly what she does. So Jada Parker standing on business, slapping the taste out of Roxanne Perez's mouth, heading into this week at No Mercy. It's one of my favourite matches that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jada Parker can do in there with like a Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez has really kind of impressed me over the past couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm never really a massive Roxanne Perez fan, but I've enjoyed her work a little bit more in the past couple of weeks than I have been doing. So, you know, that's the one thing I can say about that. We can now stay backstage to where Pete Dunne basically has a very tiny interview where he says he is gonna beat Trick Williams within an inch of his life. Because he cost him last week at the NXT Triple Threat match. You know, that number one contenders match that Pete Dunne was a part of. I really thought he was going to win. Joe Hendry ends up winning. Trick Williams costs him that match, and now Pete Dunne is angry. He's going to beat him up. So that's what happens there. We stay backstage once again to where we go to Ava's locker room, or Ava's office, whatever you want to call it, where she's having a talk with Ethan Page, saying that he should be fined. He's got a better idea though for Ava. Maybe he should suspend him so he doesn't have to defend his NXT Championship at No Mercy against Joe Hendry. Ava says, "Oh, I know you would absolutely love that to happen, but I've got a couple of other things in mind, and I will get back to you at the end of the night with those things confirmed for you." So Ethan Page is not happy the fact that he's going to defend the NXT Championship against a TNA wrestler. He is obviously afraid of Joe Hendry, and he's afraid of what is going to happen. Is he going to get the title taken off him? I don't think he will, but I think it's going to be a great match. I don't see Joe Hendry holding the NXT Championship, you know, while he's still a contracted TNA wrestler. But, you know, whatever. We now go to the middle of the ring where we have extra security on hand because we have got Zachary Wentz and Wesley in the same ring. Wesley, in this conversation, keeps repeating himself to Zach. He just keeps saying to him, "Me and you are not on the same level. I'm a WWE superstar. You are a TNA wrestler. The only reason you came back to NXT was to get the rub from a WWE superstar." Zachary Wentz turns around and says, "Listen, I couldn't be your partner on screen because of what happened. I was released from the company. You know, I own up to those mistakes, and I'm a different person because of it. But I was your partner always in real life. When you broke your back, who was, you know, there for you? Who was like bringing you food when your wife was in work? Who was texting you at 1 a.m. when you had self-doubt, when you didn't know if you was ever going to be back in a WWE ring? It was me. It was me who did that. And we came back, as in the Rascals, to be there for you, basically, to, you know, support you, to give you that same support, because you was on the verge of quitting NXT for the 3rd time." Again, Wesley just repeats, you know, "I'm just not on the same level as you. I am above you as a wrestler. You just are a TNA wrestler. Go back to where you came from so I don't have to deal with you ever again." I'm really looking forward to this match, Zach versus Wes. It's going to be a fast-paced, high-flying match. Both of them can hit really hard. Both of them are fast as hell. I am really looking forward to this. I'm not sure how what else to say about this segment. It was Zach basically saying, "Why did you turn on your friends?" And it was Wesley telling him why he turned on his friends, because he thinks they're using him and because he thinks he's not on the same level as those two people. It's not 2022 anymore. There is no MSK. He's the greatest North American champion of all time, and you are just a TNA wrestler. Zachary Wentz, I think, may get the victory. I don't know. I'm just gonna put I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think there's a big chance that Zachary could get the victory. I wouldn't mind seeing it just so I could see another match between him and Wes. Maybe at a TNA pay-per-view in the future. That would be really cool to see. But now we go backstage to where Trick Williams wishes Joe Hendry good luck against Ethan Page at NXT No Mercy, that he's looking forward to the concert that he's going to be putting on tonight. And it's not if he beats Ethan Page, it's when he beats Ethan Page. He believes in Joe Hendry. Next, we go to the ring where Kalani Jordan says to Wendy Chu, "Bring it on, Wendy. I don't care who it is, whether it's you or one of your creepy friends." Wendy Chu appears on the screen, guys. And she points her hand to the right and she I can't believe what I'm saying. Rosemary walks past, and Rosemary has debuted in NXT. It is Kalani Jordan versus Rosemary, like a TNA legend, 4-time TNA Women's Knockouts champion, tag team champion, should I say, and a 1-time TNA Knockouts champion. I was so happy to see Rosemary, getting to see her do a thing in an NXT ring. It's really, really cool to see. Was this a good match? Yes, it was. Could it have had a little bit more time? I would have liked it to have a little bit more time, to be honest with you, but that's just not meant to be. Kalani Jordan ends up coming out with a victory here with that split-legged moonsault for the 1-2-3, but I was very impressed to see Rosemary not just in the ring, but I was impressed to see her doing her thing in an NXT ring. It was nice to see. We now go backstage, guys, to oh, by the way, I just want to say about Rosemary, if they're thinking about bringing in more wrestlers or signing more wrestlers to NXT, that would definitely be one of the people on my list. We now go backstage to the Metaphors locker room where Jakara and, Lash Legend are sad that they lost. They're disappointed in themselves. Aura Mentor turns around and says, I'm going to tell you what my dad told me. Listen, 1% better is still better. So, pick yourself back up, try again, basically. He's giving him like an inspirational speech. Alexis King walks in and says, nobody wants to hear about that aura. Nobody wants to hear your positivity. We all know that Noam Dar is the daddy of a Metaphor, and you guys are nothing without him. He's definitely a father figure to you, isn't he, Aura? Aura turns around and goes, that's pretty rich coming from a guy who doesn't have a father figure. This ensues a brawl between these two guys. I'm looking forward to seeing this match, Alexis King versus Aura Mensa. Aura Mensa's been impressing me lately. Anything about Aura Mensa just being on the screen, I am absolutely fine with. It's really, really cool. I think he's becoming his own star while Noam Dar isn't there. So I'm always happy to see a bit of Aura Mensa in the ring. As for Alexis King, I can take him or leave him. I don't really know what they're doing with him, to be honest with you. I don't really care. I think he's just a bit meh at the moment. But, maybe he'll find his stride in WWE at some point. Maybe he won't. Sorry for the interruption, guys. I was just literally watching the video and editing it down when I noticed that for some reason the Chase U segment just completely cut out until I started talking about Nathan Fraser in action. Maybe the video just didn't like I was talking about Riley Osborne and Duke Hudson for some reason. But basically, all I was saying was they were just disappointed that they lost last week and they let them down. Rich Holland and Andre Chase say that they're not too bothered about it. They're absolutely fine. They're still going to be NXT Tag Team Champions after No Mercy anyway. But I thought I'd put this in just because, it's a weird transition from me talking about Lexis King, being great or not, in the future of WWE, and then all of a sudden me talking about Nathan Fraser and Axiom. So, I'm here. Hello, this is Edit Reese talking to you now. I'm going to throw it back to original recording Reese, where he has glasses on. So, take care, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Peace out. Hope you enjoy it. Nathan Fraser and Axiom show up and basically say, no you won't. We're coming back for the titles. We're going to take back the NXT Tag Team Championships. We're on a different level where we're just mint, basically. That's basically what they said. It wasn't the best Chase U segment in the world, but, any Chase U segment with Andre Chase is great. That's all I'm going to say. I've seen better, but I got to see Andre Chase. I got to see the MVP, Duke Hudson. I got to see Ridge the Fridge. So, I can't complain that much, really, to be honest. We now get a I don't give a shit match. We get Malik Blade versus Brooks Jensen. I do not care about this match. Brooks Jensen wins this match. I don't really know what to say about it. Obviously, you got Malik and Idris try to save Brooks by beating up Sean Spears because they think he's being influenced by Sean Spears. Ugh, see what I mean? He's making me tired just thinking about it. I love the whole Sean Spears and Brooks Jensen dynamic, but I don't really care about this rivalry between Malik and Idris and Sean and I don't know. Maybe they'll turn it around for me, but then again maybe they won't. Who cares? Brooks Jensen gets the victory here. I don't really know how I can be positive about it when you're not really giving me anything to be positive about. I've not seen anything great from Malik and Idris in a long time. Speaking of the tag team division, it looks like we're getting a match between Hank and Tank versus OTM, as in Lucian Price and Bronco Nima. They had a bit of a segment earlier on in the night where they're talking about how both of them are heading for the NXT Tag Team Championships and the fact that Lucian Price and Bronco Nima say to Hank and Tank that you have no ambition. The only thing you care about is barbecues. So I just thought I'd throw that in. That we're probably going to get that match next week, which I'm fine with. I want OTM to win because I love OTM. But, you know, again, only time will tell. We now go to what Tony D was rushing off for earlier on in the night. He shows up at his restaurant, and it turns out that Obafemi has taken his table and is scaring a lot of people in the restaurant. He turns around and he says to Obafemi, listen, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by you. You know, you're not intimidated by anybody. You know, being big and nasty means that you can intimidate other people and get exactly what you want. I respect it. I don't appreciate the disrespect that you've been showing me over the past couple of weeks. You know, you've been interrupting my interviews. You've been taking my camera shots. I see it. And I see the disrespect that you're giving me now. Obafemi goes, I could easily destroy you and everyone else in this restaurant. You're the Don of NXT. You establish yourself as one of the most powerful people in NXT. But I'm the ruler of NXT. Tony D agrees. He goes, yeah, you are the ruler and I am the Don. And this weekend, it's only fitting, and it was always going to happen, when the ruler and the Don come together and find out who is the better man. Tony D says he's going to take that NXT North American Championship from him. Obafemi turns around and says, many people have tried and many people have failed. I'm really looking forward to this. I really like this segment. This was probably the best segment of the whole show. And yes, I'm including what's coming up next. I really love the conversation here between Tony D and Obafemi. Obafemi just not intimidated at all. The fact that he's in a mob restaurant, that he's talking to the Don of NXT. Tony D maintaining his composure. Obviously, he's angry that Oba has entered his restaurant unannounced and he's taken over. I'm excited for this match. It's going to be really cool. I think Obafemi is going to retain the championship, but then again, Tony D has a fighting chance. Obafemi is sought after in WWE by a lot of people, so you never know. Could he be coming up to the main roster at some point? Could he be heading for the NXT championship at some point? Who knows? That might mean that Tony D could win the championship. But I don't think it's going to be his weekend this weekend at No Mercy. I think Obafemi's reign has got a couple more miles left in it. But, you know, I'm going to enjoy watching the match either way. We now go to the main event. And it's not a match. It is a Joe Hendry concert. He comes out to the ring. Oh, my bad. I'm missing out a match before we even get there. We have Javon Evans versus Joe Coffey. This was, I would say, the best match of the night. Like before I was talking about this, the sixth person. This is probably the best match of the night. Javon Evans versus Joe Coffey. I love the dynamic of this match, like the style. Like obviously Joe Coffey's more of a brawler, but you can also move in that ring. Taking on Javon Evans, who is bouncy. The young OG was bouncing all over that ring, taking out all of Gallus. Joe Coffey goes for the best for the bells. He hits the best for the bells. He goes for another one. He misses. Wolfgang provides a distraction on the outside as Javon Evans goes back into the ring after hitting a beautiful tope onto the whole of Gallus. He's able, Joe Coffey, to take advantage of this as Mark Coffey gets into the ring and takes a move from Javon Evans, getting in the way, saving his brother. Joe Coffey takes advantage for the 1-2-3. I don't think this is over between Gallus and Javon Evans. This was a really impressive match. I enjoyed it. If I was to recommend any match to go back and watch this week, it would definitely be that one. But again, let's move on to the main event. We got the Joe Hendry concert, where he just starts taking the piss out of Ethan Page. In his verses, he talks about how Ethan Page likes to work out. He likes to work out by playing with himself. How he dresses up. He shows a couple of videos on the screen. Obviously, we've got that Ethan sucks. Believe in Joe. Ethan put on some clothes. I love that. I think it's very funny. The whole crowd is singing it. Ethan Page interrupts and comes out, and while he's trying to talk, the crowd just keeps singing that to him. He's getting visibly, very, very frustrated with it. He's very annoying. He's a champion in the company. He demands more respect. He's going to take care of Joe Hendry, even if these fans don't know that it's the best for them, that they don't know that he's just fighting for them. Ava comes out and says, it was really nice of Joe Hendry to make a song for you, Ethan. You should be grateful. It's a lovely thing to do. Remember those things that I was talking about a couple of moments ago when I was talking to you about how I've got a couple of things in the works for NXT No Mercy? Well, I have it sorted for you, and it's going on right now. I'm going to tell you. There is going to be a special guest referee for the NXT Championship match between Joe Hendry and Ethan Page, and it is none other than Trick Williams. Trick Williams comes out. Ethan Page is not happy about this whatsoever. He gets very distracted. He's absolutely furious. He turns around right into a standing ovation from Joe Hendry. The music hits. Wave your hands from side to side. I believe in Joe Hendry. Pete Dunne appears on the screen, like just as though he doesn't talk to Trick Williams, and says, you know, you better be careful coming out of No Mercy because you ain't going to make it past next Tuesday. Pete Dunne still after Trick Williams. I think he's going to have something to do with the outcome of that match on Sunday. I think he's probably going to attack Trick Williams, so there's no referee there to count the 1, 2, 3 for Joe Hendry. That's just my prediction. I think that's how Ethan Page is going to retain the championship. But let me know in the comments what you thought of NXT, guys. What is your favourite match heading into NXT No Mercy this week? Obviously, we've got a tag team championship match. Chase U defending their championships against the former champions Nathan Fraser and Axiom. We've got Kalani Jordan taking on the scary, the spooky, the creepy Wendy Chu for the Women's North American Championship. Kalani hoping to once again defend successfully against another opponent. We have got a North American Championship. We have got Obafemi, the ruler of NXT, taking on the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We have got a big grudge match. We have got Zachary Wentz and Wesley, two former members of the Rascals, taking on each other. Is Wesley really on another level to Zachary Wentz? Well, we can only find out at No Mercy if Zach is able to keep up with the greatest North American champion of all time. I'm really looking forward to that match. We have a women's championship match, an NXT women's championship. We have got Miss Parker, Jada Parker, taking on the very confident, the very successful, the prodigy, Roxanne Perez. Is she going to be able to hold on to that championship, or is it Miss Parker's time, and has she got next? And finally, guys, we have got the NXT championship match. We have got All Ego Ethan Page, as we discussed, taking on the prestigious Joe Hendry from TNA with special guest referee Mr. Whoop That Trick himself, Trick Williams. Will he be able to call it down the line? Will there be any interference from Pete Dunne? The Bruiserweight has got a lot on his plate. He has got his eyes set on the NXT championship himself while entering a fatal four-way Intercontinental Championship match on Monday Night Raw. So Pete Dunne is going to be very busy. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments. What is your favourite match? I've just laid them out all there for you. Let me know. If you like this video, guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Check out Courtney's review of Monday Night Raw. Check out tomorrow's Bash in Berlin predictions podcast from the rest of the gang and myself, and stay tuned for Saturday where you're going to be getting the SmackDown review from either G or Ross. We're probably going to have some Bash in Berlin content coming from you guys, from us guys, for you this weekend, and I'm probably going to be uploading an NXT No Mercy review on the Monday morning, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But for now, guys, go follow us on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Outcasted OC. We will see you there. Peace out.